There we go. So at the start of Oracle Seasons, and both Oracles really, you get a small intro cutscene and get dropped down, and you get to meet the namesake of the game, the Oracle of Xting. In this case, it's Stain, the Oracle of Seasons. She has a parade and she likes to dance, so we're gonna talk to all the parade, and then talk to her. So after a bit of really awkward dancing, everything is happy in the land of Holodrum. Nothing can go wrong. We are missing it on Mighty's screen, but yet the world has gone to S-word. I'm not gonna say struggles here. So the entire parade is gonna disappear from the entire game. None of them really appear anywhere except Impa, and then Tin is gonna get kidnapped. And here we're gonna meet the main bad guy of the game. This is Onox. He's a guy who's here. I know his lore, but he likes to encase oracles inside giant rupees. And doing that is gonna make the seasons in Holodrum go haywire. Starting with the Temple of Seasons, which dictates how all the seasons in the land work to just sink into the world. And we wake up here. Impa's gonna say, oh, they did something today. No, you have to go do stuff. So we go do stuff. First task is getting the sword, which is in the western coast part of the world. No real threat so far, but these Octoroks can be in the way, and that sometimes loses a little bit of time. Health is not a big concern here, but at least I have never seen it as a big concern. Dying here would be pretty awful, but it never happens. Small detour here to get the first key of the game. And now Sttaner is gonna save and quit, which is done by bringing up the save and quit menu by pressing select and start and then selecting the second option. That option is actually a little better sometimes, but that's the usual stuff. Then after saving and continuing, you can just soft reset the game by pressing A, B, start and select at the same time. And now with the sword, we can go back to Horan Village and visit the Mako tree, the inferior Mako tree. Both get fall, which is pretty nice. If you get winter in this part, there are some snow piles in the way, and it makes movement a little bit slower because you can't go through this screen, the one they are both in right now, because there's a big snow pile there, and that makes going to this area in specific really slow. And now we wake up the Mako tree. It's not as good as the one in Ages. I'm sorry for that. But he uses the Gnarled Rook key. This opens Dungeon 1, which is right around the corner. Now, this game started as a Zelda 1 remake, and there are a lot of signs for this. The most obvious one is Dungeon 1, which is in an isolated island up the bridge on the west, and it's on a tree. And the entire dungeon layout is basically the same. The map is the same as the one in Zelda 1. Of course, it's not the same as in its contents, just the rooms. There's also one room in specific that we don't visit with one of the can we call them old man? I guess. The old man which is north in this intersection. This dungeon is pretty simple for now, but Might is gonna kill a lot of enemies here. I don't know if Sttaner is gonna do it, no. Killing a lot of enemies here makes it so entering a specific screen makes it so the witch known as Maple, yeah, that's Maple. I don't remember her name. I don't know. Maple can appear in some screens, and one of them is the screen right to the east of Dungeon 1. And Maple can give us a lot of things, some of which are useful rings, and Might is going for money for that. Both of them are gonna come here and get bombs. You can actually get bombs before this dungeon. They are not the dungeon item, but you would have to buy them, so this is more convenient. Might is still trying to kill as many enemies as possible. I now remember the enemy count you need for Maple visit, but it's quite high, so you want to kill as many things as possible. And now damage boosting through every enemy to go into the mid-boss, the Gorilla Brothers. Might is gonna place a bomb there, and then just wail on one of them. You only have to kill one of them, the other dies. And going here for the dungeon item, Might is gonna unequip bombs here for two reasons. The first is that the satchel is gonna equip because we have how can I say it? You don't have an item equipped, so it equips automatically because it's the first non-occupied slot you have. And also equipping things on step transitions makes them a little faster, so they both use that. And now a little torque here to get the boss key. And I imagine both are gonna save and quit. At least Might is gonna save and quit and hard reset. So the way RNG works in the Oracle's games is that it resets every time you hard reset the console. And it can be affected by specific actions, moving screens, slashing your sword, enemy movements, etc. So if you are good enough at moving and seeing enemy patterns, you can actually manipulate the RNG to go in your favor. In this case, Might is gonna do a slight manip here to make it so Aquamentus, the first boss, also first boss in the Legend of Zelda, the original, this is gonna make it so Aquamentus never charges, and this fight is gonna be no problem. Sttaner got a charge, as you can see. You have to wait for him to go back, and it's really slow. So the manip makes it pretty nice. It's not a hard boss anyway. But the most important part of the manip right now is that Might is now on a specific seat, since he did everything in the manip as usual, and now he can get a specific ring from Maple. So for that, he's gonna go to the right, slash 6 times, and wait here, and slash. He's gonna get 10 rupees, 1 potion, which revives you, and it's pretty nice, and 1 ring. This ring is pretty important, and we will see if he goes to appraise it right now or later. There's extended manip that goes all the way to Dungeon 2. Sttaner is opting to not do the manip. Probably doesn't know it right now, but whatever. This is gonna give him a small advantage right now, even though he's actually behind. Because Mighty got the Power Ring level 2. Not a praise right now, but that's okay. Power Ring is gonna make it so many bosses die a lot faster. Oh, and this is Rosa. Rosa is really good at spotting people, so we have to avoid her. Might is doing something really specific. Each movement and sword slash that he does is deliberate, because he's keeping the manip all the way to Dungeon 2. This is also giving him the best possible pattern for Rosa, so he's already ahead. Oh, and Rosa can't see people in 3 stamps, so they are both invisible right now. And now we can go to Subrosia. First visit here. Subrosia is pretty sectioned. It's basically a Metroidvania map, honestly. And right now, we can only enter this section, which conveniently has the Temple of Seasons that sank into the ground, and we can go there and grab 2 items. First, the Seasons Rod, important item, and then the Spirit of Winter. So they are both gonna enter the center room, which gives them the Season Rod. This acts like a sword, except it doesn't do damage, it just pushes enemies away. And it also has a much more important use, in that it can make it so specific areas change to specific seasons. But to change that, you have to actually get the seasons. And right now, the season that we can get is Winter. Normally the game we would expect you to do subversion dancing to get this, but you can just throw a bomb to it, so it's not a problem. And now they are both equipped with that. Mighty used the bomb. It's pretty normal to use items when you're trying to mash text, because A and B at the same time in specific text boxes. At least he didn't slash his sword, because that would make him have a different RNG pattern, and that's bad. Okay, with Winter, they can just go back through the same portal and go to Dungeon 2. Sttaner getting caught by the random subversion there. It always happens. Now Mighty is gonna hear or listen for specific sword slashes. There are 3 different tones the sword can make, and that's chosen by rolling RNG, so you can use that to roll RNG. And if you hear a specific pattern, it means that you are on a specific seed, so that makes it predictable. This is the use for the Seasons Rod. You get on the twist stamp, and everything changes to Winter. In Winter there are snow piles everywhere, and some trees just die like that, so you can use that to go here to the Winds of Winter, which are not in Winter right now, but we're gonna make them go to Winter. Everything to play a little Santa roleplay. Fall through here and get a shovel. Not milk and cookies, just a shovel. It seems that Mighty is not in Manip anymore, because every enemy is on his way. Moblin Road can be really bad sometimes. So if Mighty had gotten the Manip up to this, he would have had the possibility to go to the bracelet room without having to worry about RNG, and then clearing that really fast. I think he has a backup. It seems like it. Okay, it seems like he's back on Manip. I'm not familiar with this Manip, so that's okay. I can't really commentate on that. Sttaner is going without any Manip, as I said before. He's gonna get a little time here, but if the RNG is not good on him, the next room, or in 3 rooms actually, 4, never mind, he's gonna lose a lot of time. It's not really that bad. The bracelet room has 2 moblins on the other side, and you have to bomb them or slash them. It wasn't that bad. So they get the bracelet. Mighty didn't get the perfect kill. That's a shame. If you get the whole money, you can just throw a bomb and they die. So he's gonna lose a little bit of time here. Meanwhile, Sttaner is gonna go to this part of the dungeon. An easily forgotten key. This room is timed, which means you have to go through it fast. Not that fast, you can fail it a bunch of times, but still fast. And you need at least 5 bombs to clear everything. So you need to enter this with enough bombs. And now to go all the way back, because if you, I think Mighty's gonna do it. Yep. If you save and soft reset here, you get sent to this entrance. So I don't think it's faster, but a lot of people have been doing it lately. So maybe it is, I don't know. Oh, a small note about RNG manip. Since every enemy can affect the RNG in their own way, there are some enemies that make it impossible to have a full RNG manip all the way through a dungeon. This is the case for this one, because kisses roll RNG every frame, or every other frame, I don't know. And you have to move like a madman to actually have a decent RNG while you're having kisses on the screen. Mighty is really low on health. Takes out the sword. Good move. Kisses have a very big chance of dropping hearts, so he'll probably try to kill some. Oh well. Sttaner is gonna be the first one to get to Facade, so that's okay. Oh, Mighty has to use his potion. Whatever. Facade in the Japanese version of the game is really badly programmed. His hitbox is still there, but he's not there, so we can just bomb him. 5 bombs as a trick. And Might is also on with Facade. They are both into the last part of the dungeon. Okay, let's see if Sttaner doesn't get moving platform. These platforms are extremely bad hit detection, so you can just fall through them sometimes, and it's not fun. Fortunately, he doesn't get it. Instead gets the boss key, and he can now go and beat the second boss. Another Zelda 1 boss, except this time it's a lot more complicated. Dodongo. Instead of just bombing him, you have to bomb him, then throw him on the spikes. The first 2 rounds are free. In the 3rd one and 4th one, he's gonna charge. You want him to charge into a wall because it makes the animation cancel, so it makes it faster. I'm pretty much perfect fight for Sttaner. He's now a little ahead, but this time save is really trivial because Mighty is gonna save a lot of time from having Power Ring. Now let's see if Sttaner does hard ring or not. I hope he doesn't because I have respect for him. Thank you. You can reset here and manage for a ring, but it's not necessary, and it's also a strat for cowards. Instead he's just gonna go change to winter. Ooh, getting bodied there. Now they want to go back to Horon Village. There are two things that they have to do there, or one thing in case of Sttaner, and that is visiting the tree south of the village. Every single seed tree in the game can be used as a warp point later, but you have to visit the screen. So you need to visit that if you want to warp there later. It's important because that tree is gonna make us save a lot of time by warping it to it like 3 or 4 times. So yeah, Mighty is gonna also enter here and visit Basu. There are a lot of rings in this game that have different effects, and they are mostly random to get, but since we can affect RNG to our own good, Mighty just got and appraised the Power Ring level 2. Power Ring level 2 gives us a lot of damage. I think it's 2 more points of damage. Probably 2 points of damage, yeah. So 3 in total with Sword 1. But it also makes us take half a heart of damage extra for every hit. You can unequip it, so it's not a problem. And Sttaner just did Blaino. Blaino gives us the Ricky's Gloves, which is something we need to get Ricky. The ring they would have gotten is Hard Ring, level 2. It basically gives you half a heart for every 20 steps, I think. So it's basically a passive health regen, and you don't have to wait for health. Technically it can be faster than just going without it, in case you need to stop for a lot of health, but it's still a safe strat. Oh, Mighty dropping a few frames. Sttaner is the first to get to Swamp, Spool Swamp, that is. And he gets Pegasus Seeds. Pegasus Seeds are really nice. They are the go fast seed. They make you go twice as fast, I think? Probably. And it's basically like having a Pegasus boot, except you can move freely instead of in one direction. So that's nice. So Mighty having a lot of problems here. It's okay. The thing about Pegasus Seeds is that they are limited, but there are specific refills in the route that you can take. So you want to use as many seeds as possible before each refill, but you also want to save as many seeds as possible, so you have seeds for everything. In this case, you can see Sttaner was not using a seed for that cave because it's not faster, but he's gonna use one here and open this, turning the swamp, opening the way to Dungeon 3, which can't be accessed right now. I'm gonna do something that will probably not work. Sure. Yeah, the other is a little bad. Never mind. So Sttaner is gonna go to the southern part after changing to winter, important. And he's gonna go here and call Ricky. Because calling Ricky is faster than calling every other animal. There are 3 different animal companions in the game. They all can do, or can access basically the same. but some are slower to get than others. Ricky in this case is really slow to move with, and he sucks, objectively, but he can at least open this cave, so that's nice. Dimitri, which we'll see a little later, can swim, and he sucks, but he also takes a long time to get. And Mush, the best animal, which we will see as a third one. He's really nice, but he's also really slow to get. So we just get Ricky. Now for the second Subversion section. There are 4 different screens in the beach that can have the star orb. And Sttaner is gonna try to get it here. They can only be, or it can only be in specific places. It was 4th try, so that's bad. Actually, Sttaner, I think he missed the 3rd try spot, and he dug up in another place, so that could have been really funny. And the star can be used to get this bow, which is a pretty nice present for our date coming up. Remember Rosa? Well, she doesn't remember us, because she didn't see us. Mighty gets first try. Gonna save a lot of time here. Okay, so we give the bow to Rosa, and now we are on a date. So Rosa is a pretty nice date to have, because she has the skeleton key that can open every lock in Subversion, which means 4 locks. And that's pretty nice because we can go to the Seasons Tower, the next tower, and get some more. She also enjoys running really fast and jumping. She can jump and get in the lava when you have the rocks cave, and she doesn't really matter. She doesn't. Never mind. She's a nice date. So nice, in fact, that we can get another mystical spirit of not spring, summer. And then we can go back and ditch her forever. Rosa has one more use that isn't really a use right now, which is opening a door that is in the northwestern part of Subversion. It has a ring, but it's not a ring that we need. Now Sttaner is gonna go back to the same portal because Dungeon 3 is right there, and we need to go there. And now, to end the lovely date of going to some old ruins, we're gonna go to this portal and ditch Rosa. Bye! And now we have another date with Ricky, which is objectively worse, honestly. Now that we have summer, in summer some lakes dry, which is not important for the run, but what is important is that vines grow on places that can grow vines, and that makes it so we can enter Dungeon 3, coming right up. Dungeon 3 is Poison's Moth Lair, or Lair, or I don't know how to pronounce it, whatever. Poison's Moth Lair. It's a pretty intimidating dungeon at first. It has some stuff like this. If you don't have a shield, which is supposed to be the important thing for this, you can just shovel the ground and they die. It's something that you don't learn until you start speedrunning this game or Oracle of Ages. And now for the actual scary part of the dungeon. This room. There are some wall masters that come out, and wall masters in this game are pretty interesting because they appear wherever you are going as a predictive AI. So you can technically manipulate their positions and just go through this as fast as possible. Sttaner doesn't get it, but this is the infamous hands manip. It's really hard to pull off, and you usually just equip the sword and go with it. Seems like Mighty got it. Yep. This looks like a full hands manip. Very nice. That's gonna save him a lot of time. And also the Sttaner stood on the crumbling floor as he was pushing that. That opens the hole, and then you can just follow to it faster than going back. And now for a really rare 1 of 3, maybe 4, depends on who you ask. Puzzles in Oracle of Seasons. You just push some status. $2,000 IQ only. And now the way is open to the dungeon item. One of the best items in the entire series, I would say. Except it has an upgraded version in this game. So first, there are some mimics. The usual strat would be standing on the door and slashing, but apparently Sttaner doesn't know it. And he's gonna get the Rock's Feather. Rock's Feather lets you jump. And like LADX, this game actually has a functioning Z-axis. It's not just jumping for the sake of jumping. So you can actually jump over things, and the positions make sense. Let's just say that. Normally you can only jump 1 tile, but with seeds you can jump 2 tiles normally. Except you can do 3 tiles with very specific positioning. We'll see some 3 tile jumps in the future. So there you go through this to this section to go here and push a trampoline. Trampolines are weird, and we still don't know why they are here. But they send you 1 floor upwards, so you have to move this here to a conveniently marked spot and get this key. And now to go back. Oh, Mighty gets on the trampoline before getting into the specific place. The direction on the trampoline is a little tricky, so sometimes you just jump to it without wanting to. And now for a second round at the hand room. Since we have a little downtime here for hands, let me just say, I'm not reading chat directly, but whoever says that Aegis is better, they are right. Sttaner messes up the hands manip again. Unfortunate. Sttaner still has the advantage here, but this could change with the next 2 bosses, or 1 mid boss and one actual boss. So we have Omwai. Omwai are 3 squids, I guess. They are squids, yeah. They take 4 hits. You have to leave them with the bracelet. You can hold out your sword for the first hit, and then the others are dependent on how they bounce. But you can also charge a spin slash. What's gonna be fun about this fight is that Mighty is gonna have a better time with this because he has Power Ring, so they are gonna die in 2 hits. So he couldn't. Okay, he failed that. With the 2-hit strat, he can actually just pull 2 of them, but he's failing it quite a lot, so that's a problem. And Sttaner is gonna go to this side of the room and get the last thing needed, the boss key. Now a soft reset or save warp. It would be a better description. And to go fight the dungeon boss. This dungeon is the first non-Zelda 1 boss, I guess we can call it that, but it's actually from Zelda 3, A Link to the Past, and it's Mothula. Mothula stands on the floor, or in the center of the thing, and then starts spinning around. If you get on the side in which her or she, I guess, she starts spinning around, you can get a few hits in and then 1 cycle. But you can also just do that. Also, falling down resets the health, like Moldorm in A Link to the Past. And Mighty is at 1/4 of a heart, which is not fun. But he also has the power ring, so he can one-cycle this boss really, really fast. And dead. That's Dungeon 3 for both of our runners. The difference is not that big right now, about 20 seconds I would say. So Mighty can still catch up, especially with powering. Okay, so they used all the seeds, so they can go here, grab a refill, and then go down to go to the Dungeon 4 area, which is Sunken City at first, but then it gets a little more complicated. But first we have to go through the natural region. The natural region is a pretty interesting thing. It also happens in Oracle of Ages, but in a different region, or a different named region. It's a region that changes depending on the animal companion you have. In this case we have Ricky, so it's gonna be really slow and boring. The natural region for Dimitri is the fastest, I think. But Dimitri is also the slowest animal to get, so that's a problem. You need to know how to move with Ricky here if you want to move efficiently, because Ricky sucks. That's a problem. You can jump and punch at the same time, like so. And that's basically the only speed tech you have for this. Also, Sttaner is gonna try to kill as many... Well, he's not going for it, never mind. Killing these twos has a high probability of dropping seeds, and they want at least one pair of seeds, which is the case for Mighty. He got one, so that's nice. This means that he can just spam them later. And Sttaner has to be a little more conservative with those seeds. Sttaner is gonna be the first one to get to Sunken City. This city is sunken, as you can see. And it also has one of the most important items in the game, the Gale Seeds. Gale Seeds are used to warp to other seed trees, and they're gonna be a really important part of the routing from here on. And now we have to go and meet Dimitri. Dimitri is getting bullied by kids in the town. So in order to get Dimitri, you have to give all your bombs to the kids, which is not a good idea. But this is also a sunken city. There's nothing to bomb, so I don't know what they would do with that. Unless the kids are international terrorists, which would not be... I mean, it's Zelda. We are not that dark. So here's a puzzle that Sttaner doesn't know can be done easily. You have to hit all 4 statues in a one swing. Usually that means moving the statues and then doing a spin slash, but you can actually just hit one of the statues and then hit all of them with the spin slash. You can see Mighty doing this here. And this sequence is gonna give them the flippers, which are an important part of getting to Dungeon 4. He's an underwater tunnel. Oh, Sttaner going for the damage boost on the chip. Not gonna happen. Now through this tunnel, they can go here to Mount Cuckoo, the Dungeon 4 area, but we can't really get to Dungeon 4 right now. There's a lot of things to do first. And the first thing is going to Subrush again for another season. And when Sttaner jumps here, something is gonna happen. 2 solutions come in, grab your feather, and give you the best item in the game, the Full Sword, that we're not gonna get to use, which is a shame, because we need that feather for many things. And so we have to play a little game of hide and seek in order to get the feather. This is basically an auto-scroller. They do the same thing every time, so if you know where to stand, you won't get detected. They have also many vision problems. So the leniency for this part is actually extremely generous. I hope you enjoy this theme right now. It's basically the theme of the nightmares of any seasons runner. These are not Jawas, they are subversions. But they have a lot of resemblances actually. Subversions are basically the inhabitants of Suburbia, this underworld thing. It has a lot of things like lava beaches and also the Temple of Seasons. Okay, so after going through all of this, they're gonna bury the feather in a random spot. Where is it? Where is the feather? Oh, it's right there. Who would have thought? And now we have the feather. Save warp and to a temple. So the feather was needed to progress because you have to jump here. And also Sttaner is gonna open this. This is a shortcut for later. The rock just doesn't exist anymore. It's pretty important for the Dungeon 7 part of the run, which is coming in a long time. You can also make that really fast by just using a seed and going through, but Sttaner is going really conservatively with his seeds apparently. Whatever, he's gonna be the first to get to this, the Spirit of Spring. With this we have 3 of the 4 seasons. In spring, the flowers, which are normally rocks, actually become flowers and you can slash them. And other things happen. There's also the happy shooty flowers, like some people call them. Mati. And they are kind of important to have, so yeah, spring is important. Spring also has one specific item appear in the next section, here in Mount Kuko, so that's important. Now Sttaner is gonna change to spring and do a wall clip for an LADX trick. Because this game also has wall clips in which you clip a little bit into the wall, but they are not as broken as LADX. You don't destroy the game by doing them. Instead, you just use them to get to this Kuko. It's basically the only use of them, except a few optimizations in movement. And all of this to get the Spring Banana. The Spring Banana is an important item because it lets us get Mush. Oh, Sttaner is farming here. Mush is the best animal companion. He's a bear and he can fly. We're gonna take Mush for a ride and go here. Also important, they don't really have any bombs right now because the kids at Sunken City took all of them, so they want at least one bomb drop for Dungeon 4, which already happened. For both, I think. Well, Mush can fly, so he can get to this. I don't know why he equipped bombs, but sure. So here to get the Dragon Key. And really, Sttaner? Really? You are gonna do that? And Mighty as well? I don't know what you both are doing. Okay, so one of them bombs Mush for some reason. and the other death warp, so he has 3 hearts. Pretty interesting strats here. Actually, Sttaner said that he was gonna lose to Mighty, which is understandable, seeing the difference in PVs, but I think he's fooling himself. He wouldn't have done that if that wasn't the case. Whatever. Here's the second and last cuckoo of the game. You just spam the bracelet. And for another really stupid callback of LADX, you get the water flow of the waterfall, and there's a dungeon. So this area is basically LADX Central. And to enter this, we have to be in somewhere. Oh yeah, I see someone already talked about how to get each animal companion. So I don't have to talk about that. Thank you. So this is Dungeon 4. Dancing Dragon Dungeon. It has the best music in the game. It's also the first actually hard dungeon in the game. Dungeons 1 through 3 are pretty easy. Dungeon 3 has some dungeon parts, but they are not that bad. Dungeon 4 is where the things start really getting serious. You can easily die here. But first you have to do a big brain puzzle of moving pots. Second puzzle in seasons. It takes a genius to design and complete this puzzle. Also, learning to move pods optimally is kind of hard. You basically have a few frames after the pod has started moving to move yourself, so that's the only real optimization you can do. And now they are gonna continue through this part. Getting a little trolled by the shells, but that's okay. There's one key in this part of the dungeon, and you have to go all the way through this just to get it. So this is basically the only purpose of this travel time. But hey, we're about to get to my favorite room in the game. Did you know that this game was made by Capcom? Or developed by Capcom? Probably made in conjunction with Nintendo. Either way, this game was made by Capcom. It's obvious in the music, but it's also made obvious by this. Shoutouts to Mega Man. Might be also going to the Mega Man room, but he has a seat, which makes it a lot trickier. But he waits. And this is the key we need to get here. Mighty catches up quite a lot thanks to Sttaner falling down. And now for the second part of the dungeon. There's a tricky jump coming here. It's not that hard, you just hold diagonally up left. And you don't have to go through the Camlin Force. Mighty fails it. I feel you. That jump is essentially harder than it seems. I mean, in the execution it's really simple, but it also fails somehow. And here, 3 enemies have to be killed. Usually you want the like to be right next to the pond so you can push them, but it doesn't happen here. Oh, and Mighty lets the key fall. You can actually grab it before it falls to the water, and that saves the text and diving, of course, so that's faster. And now Sttaner has used all his seeds, but there are 2 pots here that have seeds, which is important to consider. And we can see the power of Power Ring level 2 here. Mighty is killing everything really fast, but he's also taking a lot of damage, which can be risky for this dungeon. And they are both going to the last part of the dungeon. First, they're gonna grab a key here. Pretty important, there are many keys in this part, and if you forget any of them, you are destroying your face. And now... Oh no, Mighty, please, no, Mighty! Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, Sttaner is going to beat Agonima. Not Aghanim, Agonima. Also one boss lifted from another game. But it doesn't really work like Aghanim. You basically just hit him a few times. But he's gonna be able to do that fight with only 2 cycles, I think. So that's gonna save him a little bit of time, but this death is gonna put him a lot behind. As I said, Dungeon 4 is where the things start getting serious. Dying here is quite a lot of trekking. And now Sttaner is gonna go through this floor, or crumbling floors, to get the slingshot, the dungeon item. The slingshot lets you fire seeds with the same ammunition as the satchel, so any kind of seed. And it's important for many things. It's also inferior to the actual seed shooter in Oracle of Ages, which can shoot diagonally and seeds bounce off. Okay, so first instance of using the slingshot, it's gonna go here, light these 3 torches, and just safe warp. This makes a chest appear that you have to go and get later. Not right now. Also faster fight for Mighty, as I said. He can now go and get the slingshot. Now, coming up is the boss key, and we also have one of the dumbbell jumping game. You have to jump diagonally in a really weird manner, and if there are keys in the way, it's basically impossible. Sttaner is gonna give up at the second try, I don't blame him. Usually what I do here is, if the way is clear, I try it once or twice, and if not, I just go normal way. And now there's one more key. The chest we made appear with the slingshot here. And now Sttaner can go to the last part of the dungeon. He's gonna equip Gale Seeds on the slingshot. Gale Seeds are pretty good for this because they insta-kill any enemy they work on. And it's gonna come into play in the next room with some Whiz Ropes. Whiz Ropes are really annoying, so you want to kill them as fast as possible. And they take 4 normal sword hits, so shooting them like this is obviously the fastest way. Ooh, tries to get a 3 cycle, or 2 cycle rather. And the Whiz Rope appears in the same place. That's weird. And now for another really dumb jump. I said way back in time that you could make 3 tall jumps, but they're also kind of hard. In this case, Sttaner used a specific strat that uses a Whiz Rope to damage boost. And it makes it kind of easier. So that was not a problem. And now he can go to the boss. The first really hard boss of the game, I would say. Coma. Coma has 2 different ways of killing her. You can destroy her claw, and then she starts moving really weirdly and really hard to... she's really hard to get, but you can just align in a specific pixel here that lets you shoot through her eye. She only gets damaged by Sand Seeds. Yeah, they call that. Sand Seeds and Ember Seeds, so you have a limited ammunition. This is the only reason we really get Sand Seeds. They are useless otherwise. Sttaner is having a little trouble here. He's about to run out of seeds, so this could be bad. It's 15 seeds, so okay. Pretty close. And Mighty doesn't get Phenomenon and actually jumps off. Let's see if his Coma fight is better. It was better. Pretty much perfect fight so far. Never mind. Okay, so before going out, there's one secret passage here that contains the Pyramid Jewel. The jewels are pretty important and they are integrated in the route, so forgetting any of them is pretty bad. This one specifically is really out of the way, so you don't want to go back for it. And now we get to see the first warp in the game. Sttaner is gonna go to these three first to get more seeds. And then to... come on, these three. Because it's the one closest to Dungeon 5. Funny thing about Dungeon 5, if you are doing a 4 essence run, as in getting 4 essences, it's actually faster to get the flippers, then go here and do Dungeon 5 than it is to finish Dungeon 4. For Dungeon 5 we have to go here first to get the 4th and last season of the game. This is the furnace part of Sub-Russia. It's pretty nice. You get some really tricky jumps that look really cool. All of this to get the... bomb flower, come on. There it is. Rings are not specifically used. They used to be used in Ages for the route, it was required. In this case, you can get rings and Mighty got a ring, which is technically faster by a little bit. But yeah, you technically just ignore rings. Okay, both now have the bomb flower, and they can go to the Fall Tower for the 4th and last season of the game. There's some rocks blocking here, so you just give it to them and enter. In Fall, some holes just become plugged with leaves and you can walk over them. And also the storm mushrooms that you see in some places become ripe and you can harvest them. And that's important to enter Dungeon 5. And now they are gonna go all the way back to the same portal they entered. Mainly because it's right next to Dungeon 5, so it's way more convenient. And now we get to go through all the seasons just to open Dungeon 5. So we are in winter. We're gonna change to spring, summer, and fall. These mushrooms are coming up. For some reason you can't grab 2 of them at the same time, so you just throw one off screen and it despawns. Dungeon 5, Unicorn's Cave. It's a pretty slow dungeon, mainly because there are a lot of minecarts, and minecarts are slow. But it's also pretty nice because it has one of the best items in the game, and in the whole series. First of all, they're gonna get this key, important, and go back the same way to go around. Sttaner takes his time for that. You can easily get hit there by the fireballs and just drop down. And it's pretty annoying. Talk about annoying, big hats. Big hats are really annoying and they get in your way. So let's see if it gets in... Ooh, a little bit. Just a little bit. But hey, we get to see the magnet glove and save warp out instead of solving the puzzle. The magnet glove can make us or use all the items to repel or attract with magnetic charge. That's a really bad explanation, I'm sorry, but you can do that. That's basically the gist of it. You can do that. Everything that is static and you have to get to or get attracted to is north or south polarity, and the balls and anything that moves is north. Also it can be used for that, but it's not that useful, honestly. You can just hit those guys from behind. And here's the armor room. You have to kill these guys in a specific order, and then open the 4 chests that appear in the same order you kill them. If you fail, all chests become antifairies and you have to exit the room, not the dungeon. The room. Sttaner got it. Mighty is gonna kill them in one swing, I think. So he can just do the same sequence every time. And now for a little recollection of keys. There's one key here. These moving things are really weird in that they let you walk on air when you just detach from them. I guess we can say detach, yeah. So you can just make those jumps pretty easily. A little difference on routing here. I think it's faster to go up first, but don't quote me on that. The thing is that you have to go here to move this block and make a wall appear. Then you save warp and do the rest. Sttaner is gonna take it really slow, but you can just save warp right away when you see the shadow. And now everything is set. Both have no health. Mighty is gonna have even less health, which is not gonna be fun. I think if he gets it, yeah, if he gets it here, he's gonna die. So that's not fun. At least he gets some hearts. And go here. Grab one last key here. And go to the mid boss. This is not a version of failed TP, in case it's not obvious. If you had said a version of LADX, I would have laughed at that, but try next time. So this is Zygar. Zygar takes a few hits to the tail and then dies. And hopefully nothing weird happens, because Sttaner is really low on health and Mighty is too. Oh, Mighty is... oh, Sttaner rather. He's not gonna get the 3 cycle. Something that is always better than a 4 cycle, of course. Oh well, at least he can die. I don't know if I can say the same for Mighty. He's gonna kill this guy really, really fast. But he will also die if he gets touched. But there he is, dead. Also, you're supposed to go around and move a wall for this, but you can just jump through. So that's cool. Talk about jumps. This room is pretty nice. You get some pretty cool trick jumps, except Sttaner didn't get any of them. Wait, did he? No, he didn't. All that for the boss key. Now that they have the boss key, we can go and beat the boss. Another Zelda 1 boss, but it works really differently. The infamous Dig Dogger. Dig Dogger is a fight that is not fun. At least it's not fun when you don't know how to do it. You basically move a giant ball and you hit him and he dies. You don't need to know anything else other than there are some keys here they can tell you. There are no hearts here, Sttaner. Okay, so this is the dogger. You have to kick him 4 times with a ball, and then he splits into 5 mini doggers. You want to kill them all in one cycle, but it's pretty tricky. It's basically RNG, except Mighty got a perfect execution with that. Oh no, there's one left, never mind. Oops. Called it way too early. Sttaner actually gets the 1 cycle, so he's gonna gain a lot of time here. Because Dick Dogger is a jerk, as you can see. So he's the first out of Dungeon 5. Now, to get to Dungeon 6 we have to get 2 extra jewels of the 2 jewels that we already got. So there's a little bit of cleanup to have here. I don't know if they are gonna go on the same order for this. Sttaner is gonna go to the beach first and go meet the hardest boss in the game, the Black Beast. While Mighty is gonna go for the other one. This is the only use that Mr. Seeds have in this game. First of all, Mr. Seeds have a random effect between all the other seeds. So you just spam them and hope they have fire. And this is the Black Beast. You kill it and get 1 extra jewel. Meanwhile, that guy that Mighty visited is an old man that only gives you the usual when you have beaten, I think it's only Dungeon 5, but it's probably Dungeon 4 and Dungeon 5. And he gives you the run jewel. They're both gonna do the other jewel, the one that they didn't get. The other doesn't really matter, but you have to get both. Mighty gets 4th try, I think, on the fire. So that's pretty good. I think Sttaner is gonna be the first one. The first one to get into Town Ruins. Just by a little bit. So, another thing that Capcom did here. Look at the jewels and tell me, what are they? Are we dealing with something weird here? What is the hidden message here? What do these jewels mean? Described as treasures of a past long gone, which means that these symbols don't have any significance in the current Nintendo lore. I'm really sure that Capcom was just cheeky enough to put the PlayStation buttons there. It's not that they just chose the shapes because they wanted to. And I don't know why Nintendo didn't catch on that. Or maybe they did, and all of this is a ruse. Whatever. Town Ruins is a pretty nice place. It has really nice music. And it also has you use every single season. And now they are frame-to-frame tight, apparently, because Sttaner didn't jump down and instead took the vines, which are a way slower. Okay, they are gonna change to fall here. And go to the Lost Woods. Funny thing about this game is that there is a trade sequence. You have to trade many items to get access to the level 2 sword, Noble Sword. But actually, the only thing that a trade sequence does is give you a hint on how to get to it. So if you already know how to get to it, you can just go and grab it. And this is what they are doing. You basically go from the coldest to the hottest seasons and go left. And there it is. This sword deals double damage, or double damage compared to the level 1 sword. And it also breaks pots, so it's pretty nice. And to get to dungeon 6, you have to do the same sequence of seasons from coldest to hottest, but you have to go to the left and then counterclockwise. Mighty gets grabbed, and now Sttaner is gonna catch up because of that. This is the peak of Town Ruins. That flower there is supposed to lift you up to the dungeon 6 part, but actually you can just go because there are statues in the way. You have to move them, and for that reason you have to go here. Move this statue, jump down, and change to spring. Hopefully the ball and chain guard is not in the way. Thank you. Sttaner moving the statue to the wrong side, or from the wrong side rather. That's gonna cost him a little bit of time. And right when you want to enter dungeon 6, this fella appears. We will discover more about him later, but you have to know that he has the Cane of Virna from A Link to the Past. Dungeon 6. Ancient Ruins, that's it. It's a pretty random name. This dungeon is actually pretty hard. There are many things that can go wrong, but for now, the only thing you can do in this floor is go and get a key. This is also one of my favorite dungeons in the game, if not my favorite. There are a lot of things nice about this dungeon. First thing to do here is move this, fail the jump because it's impossible to make that jump, and move that ball to the other side to push the button. This room can go really badly, and it seems that Sttaner's room is going badly, so that's pretty unfortunate. But now Mighty has the first key, and he can go and do one of the dumbest jumps in the game. As I said, 3-tile jumps are not supposed to be real, but this one is. And it's really tricky, and he got it first try, so that's nice. After the first floor, the rest of the dungeon is basically going up. It's a tower, so you expect to do that. You basically have to go through this, move this trampoline, go up, and grab the dungeon item before going down. It's important to note as well that one save and quit that they did a little earlier also makes it so they save an entire key. So one key in this dungeon doesn't have to be obtained. Here's the dungeon item, Magic Boomerang. It's a really nice item. It's basically a boomerang that actually has a use. You can control it by holding down the button and moving the D-pad. And now Mighty's gonna fall here. You will see a key block here to the right. That key block is completely skipped by saving and quitting, as I said earlier. It's important to note that if they die at any point, they have to get that extra key. So it's important to not die here. And as I say that, Mighty gets hit. Nice. Mighty gets hit a lot, actually. And Sttaner fails to put the ball in the button. Here's normal use of the Magic Boomerang. You just curve it around and hit switches. You also want to use as many seeds as possible because there's a refill coming up. Well, Mighty's gonna try to grab the fairy. As with any Zelda, really. Not all of them, but some of them. If you boomerang an anti-fairy, you get a fairy. So that can be used to do stuff. Also, using a seed for this room is a really bad idea because that jump is way trickier than it seems. Now use one. This is where Noble Sword really comes into play. You can get both of these without having to equip the bracelet. And that has a seed, which is pretty important to get through this room. The Indiana Jones room. Everything closes around you, so you have to go fast. It's not that hard. Getting crushed here is basically impossible, as long as you use the seed. And Mighty is gonna equip the power ring now, because there's a mid-boss coming up. Kill the 4 Star Force here, move that block. Fall down here to get a key. Oh, he unequips it? Apparently he doesn't like having it for fire. I don't know. Whatever. The mid-boss of the dungeon is coming up. It's Bayer. He's also in Oracle of Ages. He plays a pretty big part of every Link playthrough. I wouldn't know to describe how that works, but whatever. The thing is that he can charge you, and you want him to charge you, and he charges. So, okay, that was pretty nice. Perfect RNG for Mighty. He can also circle around you, and that's bad. We'll see if Sttaner gets it. He gets it. You can just barely hit him when he's circling around. You can also just get bombs and throw bombs at him. That by RNG is gonna basically give Mighty a lot of advantage, because Sttaner is struggling a lot with his mid-boss right now. Kill these shortcuts with that. You're supposed to move a steel ball to kill them, but you can just shoot them through the ceiling. Okay, he finally gets it. Mario can be that tricky sometimes. Oh, Mighty forgets where to place the trampoline. You have to place it there, to hit the switch, to make a stair open. And that opens the access to the Dungeon 6 boss. Another Zelda 1 boss, except this one is worse. Manhandler. Manhandler has 4 different heads. They all have 3 HP. Well, I don't know how much HP, but whatever, the boomerang hits them, and 3 hits with the boomerang kills 1. Each head that disappears makes him go faster, so you want to keep a good track of the health, like Mighty did. That was pretty nice. This fight can go south really easily. He gets it. He's gonna be the first to go out of Dungeon 6, and we'll see if Manhandler is just as nice to Sttaner. Doesn't get the initial hit, so that's gonna be bad. Now the Marco Tree tells us that we have to go see pirates. Not really, I don't know what he says. I don't remember. But I don't care. We have to go and see the pirates. Because the magic boomerang only opens one thing in the entire world. And it's this. Oh no, Mighty. Okay. Thankfully the guild seat doesn't work indoors. So here's the pirate area of Subrosia. These are pirates, but they can't go to sea because they don't have their trusty bell. So we have to go and get the bell. Also, their ship is half in Holodrum, half in Subrosia. I don't know how that happened. The bell is conveniently, in many quotation marks, right next to this town, on a place called Samasa Desert. Please hold your pirate emotes, not yet. So here's the sequence. It's supposed to be secret, but it's pretty easy to memorize. 2 on the 3rd, 1 on the 2nd, 2 on the 1st, and 3 on the 4th. Now, first step here is going to this kind of sunken ship, not really, and talk to this guy. This is gonna make a skull appear, which can tell us in which pit in the entire desert the bell is. There can be 4 different pits that have the bell, and they are gonna go in a specific route to check all of them. Not first try. Not second try. 3rd try. Acceptable. I know it's hard to understand me, sorry. Okay, so that's the broken bell, or rusty bell, rather. And that's not a bell that we need. We have to go and polish it. The best way to go polish it is going to Subversia through Rosa's portal, so the portal around here. And now the shortcut that we opened on Dungeon 4, or during the Dungeon 4 part, is gonna come into play, because that is gonna connect us from this, let's call it first area of the game, or first Subversia area in the game, which has the this Smithy. Oh, by the way, the Smithy is a guy that doesn't like people who say please, because that's for weaklings, so please say do it, which is the second option. The first option is something like, please I beg you, I want that bell. If you say that, he just says, no, I don't like people who are polite, please go away. And you have to go out, re-enter, and then talk to him. So if instead you just say to him to do it, he just does it. This is the shortcut we set. This is the hide and seek area, and the pirate area is right around the corner. Here. And now we enter the best part of the run. Mighty is on the chat. So this is the pirate cutscene. It's barely a cutscene because there's a lot of text to mash, but it's the best moment in the entire run to use your pirate emotes. Any pirate emotes that you have. If you don't have any, just do capital R and close parentheses. Where's my caps lock? Come on. Here we go. In this cutscene, they basically pull the entire boat out of Subversia, and then they get to sea. The thing is that these pirates are not that good, which would explain how they got into Subversia like that. And they get dizzy really easily. Even though they don't have stomachs or anything because they are skeletons. Mighty, come on now, that's not allowed, whatever. So they get dizzy even though they can't, and they are all weaklings. Even the pirate captain is a weakling, even though he says, don't do that, whatever. They decide to park somewhere because they don't like the sea anymore. Oh, also another pirate cutscene starting for Sttaner. Another pirate emote from me. So the place where they park is pretty nice, because it leads us right to Dungeon 7. Normally you would have to go north here and change the season in the area to summer to enter the graveyard. But you can just barely make this jump here to skip that. And in this graveyard, there's a dungeon. Because of course there's a graveyard right here. Zelda 1. Dungeon 7 is Explorer script, and it's the first dungeon in the game to feature an actual skip. So clap it up. We have skips. It also features a very specific manip here that I don't know about, but Mighty is gonna do it, and hopefully he gets it. Whatever. The gimmick in this dungeon is that there are 2 rooms that have some torches that go out gradually, and there's a curse by a Poe sister living here that makes it so if you are in that room when all the torches go out, you get sent to the entrance of the dungeon, as you can see here. The thing is that this first room here is just perfectly prepared enough that you can go and get to the stairs with a few frames of lenience before getting warped back, and that's what's called post skip. And hopefully Mighty will get it. It's really tricky, and it requires very precise timing. And I think he didn't get it. Nope, he got caught on the not the stairs. It was the corner. Whatever. This is gonna give Sttaner a chance to catch up. But I know he really hates this trick, so maybe it's not gonna be that important. He's gonna try again. It's 1 seed for his try. And it's pretty important to get this trick for many reasons. It doesn't really... I mean, if you had to go... There we go. If you had to go through the rest of the dungeon as normal, it wouldn't save any real time. The thing is that this trick allows you to not use 1 key and have that key for the rest of the dungeon. And that's pretty important because it lets us skip 1 entire key. So of course it's faster. Let's see if Sttaner has the same luck. In this room, one of the armors is an actual statue, and you have to touch all of them. Just trying to guess. There's also a really convenient seat placement here, and you can just go to it twice. So seats are not a problem here. Seems like Sttaner got it? No! He got... Oh no, he got seasons. Okay, so if you try to enter the stair on the very edge pixel, it doesn't work. You have to be in the center. He thought he was being optimal by going right on the perfect pixel, but you can't do that. So he has to try again. And now here are some really tricky jumps. You are not supposed to be able to make these jumps, but you can just barely snake your way through. You're supposed to go back here with the rockscape later. Sttaner gets it on the second try. That's pretty dope. Oh, and here are Magunesu. They run away from you, but you can just corner them and do that. Ooh, Sttaner getting a pretty bad armor. He has to move it all the way around. And talk about armors, we have to go again. Oh, I thought he got it again. Since this game runs at 60, some animations are just flashing one sprite and then another, and one of them is the animation for seeing if the actual statue is on armors. So it's really hard to tell in the stream. And now Mighty is gonna go and beat the actual first, but really second Poe sister. Light all these torches, and then to kill her. You basically just hit her a bunch of times. And this is gonna make it so the next torch room, which is coming up, doesn't have the course and you can go through it. It's this one. Unlike the one with post skip, you can really speed this up because swimming is really slow. So you have to kill that second pose sister. And now here comes a really tricky jump. There's one frame when you let go of the magnet glove, in which you can just jump, so you can buffer a jump there. And it keeps doing the entire puzzle. And now he's gonna slash the wall to get a specific position and buffer a jump. To go through this and try to get this chest. It's a real tricky. If you fail to get on the platform, you have to get a 3-tile jump, and there it is. The dungeon item in this case is the Rockscape, which is the upgraded version of the feather. It lets you double jump, it lets you go real fast with seats. It's also one of the best items in the entire series. It's also in Miniscap, and I think no other places. Maybe it's in Forces Adventures, but I'm not that confident about that, so don't quote me on that. And now press this button and open the way for the mid boss. If you didn't, or if you got post skip, you have to avoid dying until you get here, because then you can get the boss warp. In this case, it's just both poses at the same time. They try to blow out the torches, so you just make sure they don't. Now the stair maze is basically the same every time. And Mighty is gonna go to the last part of the dungeon and get the boss key. If you don't get post skip, you have to go here to the left and get another key. But since he got it, he can just go here to a really tricky part of the dungeon. You have to know that if you hold down the cape, you do a double jump, but if you just tap it, you do a simple jump. It's very important for this strategy in special. I'm bad at talking. And now for the super trampoline. 2 floors, hold right, and then lets you skip a few things. And just hit this. And go. They are called pose sisters, yes. They are also pose sisters in many other games. So they are technically female. I guess ghosts don't really have a gender, but yeah, they are pose sisters. So they should be female. Now Mighty's gonna grab this and get to the dungeon boss, which is another Zelda 1 boss. Yay! Gleeok. Gleeok is actually way easier here than in Zelda 1. You just kill 2 heads rather than 4 or whatever, and then slash his body. Jump when he's down so he doesn't stun you, and he's dead. With Power Ring, it's actually comically faster. Sttaner is gonna have a way slower fight, but it's still really fast. So that's the 7 sessions. Now the Mako Tree says that he doesn't really know where we have to go. He doesn't sense the last essence. And that's because it's in Subversion. Oops, spoiler. So in order to get to it, we have to visit the only part of the map that we haven't really visited, which is Temple Remains. Temple Remains is basically where the Seasons Temple was before sinking in the ground. Temple Remains is right here. There's a freeze refill here, so they don't really have to go to the tree for anything. Now, the normal start here would be going to the right. changing the season to fall, and then these holes here coming up would be covered in leaves and you can just walk through them, but you can just barely make this jump if you zigzag, and you avoid having to change the season. And now this is a volcano, an active volcano actually, so of course throw a bomb to it, because the best way to save the world is triggering a cataclysmic volcano explosion, I guess we can call it that, to destroy the entire area. This is the only way to get to Dungeon 8, so it's actually canon that Link has to destroy a precious part of Holodrum history. There's just no way to destroy those trees that we just saw. This is the only way. And now, since it's to summer, Sttaner got to warp to the Gale Seed tree apparently. You need a few Gale Seeds at the end, so if you don't have enough, it's kind of important to go there, unless you trust that you will get a drop. But it's actually a forced drop, so oops. Here are some tricky jumps. There's another tricky jump here that skips this puzzle, but it's not worth it, it's really hard. And this doesn't really have any tricky jumps, you just go. And here in Temple Remains you find a shrine with a subversion portal. Go through it. And you find a very angry volcano, which is Dungeon 8. The Sword and Shield Maze. It's frozen because, of course, the volcano is frozen. But it also has lava on the lower floors that we will barely get to see. First, Might is gonna go here and grab a key. And now he's gonna prepare mentally for the second skip in the run. And also one of the hardest tricks in any Zelda, which is Hyper Slingshot Skip or HSS Skip. The dungeon item in this dungeon in particular is the Hyper Slingshot, which is a slingshot that throws switches instead of one. It's not useful, you have to use it twice in the dungeon to get some keys. Other than that, it's an item that you can skip completely, so that's what we're gonna do. First of all, Might is gonna fall down here. This resets his pixel value, which is a value that is like pixels but only works for interactions, like being in a specific place or landing in one tile or other. And now he's gonna run here. Ooh, kind of bad. So what you want to do is throw a bomb or have a bomb boost you on the last possible frame that you are able to jump, and then jump on a specific frame on the air to go to the other side of the bridge. It's really hard, and it also requires knowing how to buffer in oracles, which is not as easy as it sounds. I think Mighty got it. Nice. Second try. Very, very nice. It's an extremely hard trick, so I'm sure he will be delighted by that. Thing is, buffering in ages and seasons is really bad. If you buffer with the pause menu, you have a possibility of having 1 to 3 frames of lag when you unpause, and that makes it really inconsistent. So the best way in general is using the save and quit menu with start and select, and that's really hard to do sometimes, because you you can't really do that rarely in some consoles. And also the rhythm in which you have to pause and unpause, I guess we can call it that, is really weird, and getting used to having one exact frame in between them and still observing it is really hard. So buffering in Oracles is not an easy task. Okay, so that skipped the mid-boss, Tripolar. It also skipped many keys, and it also skipped the Hyper Slingshot as its namesake implies. Now we have one extra key here, so we don't have to get another key. And all that Mighty has to do is... Oh, that was really weird. Why did he grab that one? Okay. All he has to do is clear the last part of the dungeon, in which you have to throw these crystals in the holes, and it makes it so the lava in the lower floor is solidified. There are 4 holes for this, but with HS Escape you only have to get 3 of them. One of them requires, or is only required to get a key. This one, the one on the right. So it also saves time here. HS Escape in general is just amazing, especially with Tripolar. I didn't really talk about him, but he's one of the hardest, if not the hardest mid-boss in all of Zelda. We got a taste of that on a race, I think it was Sunday? I don't know, Zelda had to do that boss. It's just really hard, and you have to walk a long way to get to it if you die to it. So you don't want to do Tripolar ever. But if you want to play Oracle of Seasons random, which is really fun, except when it isn't, you have to learn how to beat Tripolar, so I'm sorry. And yeah, Sttaner is really struggling with this trick, which is normal. I can feel that. Sttaner comes from the Oracle of Seasons community. He's one of the world record contenders for that. And there's a trick that you could call similar to this, that being dungeon to skip. But that trick is way harder in my opinion. It's also double frame perfect like this one, but the setup is way harder. Also, he doesn't really know how to set up everything apparently. So this could be hurting him a lot. This is probably not the correct subpixel, we'll see. He's really good at buffering at least. That's the correct frame, but not the correct subpixel. Yeah, Sttaner doesn't know the setups for this. That's unfortunate. Oh well. Mighty's gonna go to the dungeon boss. The only original boss in the entire game. Huzzah! Which is Medusa Head. With powering, this is gonna be really stupid. Pretty much pointless fight. Medusa Head can do that. She can do that. And she can also be in the center and petrify you. And that's it. That's Medusa Head. Oh, she's gonna... Oh no! Oh, not she. He. Whatever. The Dungeon 8 hard container is technically not faster to get, because you can just get a free health refill at the end. However, it's mandatory. So if you don't get that hard container, you are basically disqualified. So I'm sorry, Mighty. You have lost the race. Just kidding, just kidding. Don't mind me. Mighty only has one thing left. Going and beating Onyx. Sttaner gets it, but it's too little too late, unfortunately. And now he's trying to hit the button. Okay, he's really low on health and he is not using the cape, so moving through ice is really bad. Oh, he doesn't trust that. Okay. Mighty makes a pit stop on the Mako tree to get the Mako seed, a mystical item that does things. Mainly lets us finish the entire game. And now he's gonna go here. To Northern Peak and to Onyx's castle. Sttaner is really behind right now. He can't really catch up unless something really bad happens. Okay, so entering here, the Mako seed is gonna hit us, or whatever, it's gonna float and make all the essences appear and just dispel this supposed barrier. And then we're gonna get a pretty exciting piece of lore. Did you know that there are 2 Oracles games? And you can beat them in a linked mode? And when that happens, the entire lore is revealed. So the bad guy, or the guy that we found in Dungeon 6, is Twinrova, because nothing in this game is original. We have to take from Ocarina of Time as well. Twinrova are trying to revive Ganon. That's the plan, I guess. And for that they have to do stuff to the 2 oracles? I never quite understood it, but whatever. If you play the game in a linked mode, you can finish the game, then go with Twinrova and then beat Ganon. It's actually pretty fun, except you have to play Oracle of Seasons. But it's fun for half of the year, half of the 2 games. Okay, so Onyx's castle is 2 rooms like this, and then 1 facade. This time facade spawns right away, so you can't really destroy him. And depending on RNG, this should be pretty easy. Yes, pretty good fight for Mighty. He's gonna get this, and then get 2 Onyx. Onyx only gets hurt by spin slashes, so that's the strat. He also hurts quite a lot, so hopefully that won't be something that we see. The first half is pretty easy, then he summons Dean. You technically have to make Dean go away by using the Vision Rod, but you can just hit her and make the sword beam instant, and that double hits Onyx. It takes some health, but it's also really nice for a fast fight. And this is Sigma, or Dronox, another non-original boss. Get on the hands and hit the wall. Hopefully we'll see. Okay, we don't see the actual strat, the stun lock. It was discovered that you can just jump from hand to hand and hit him, so he gets stun locked. But no one has actually done it. Oh! You have to jump at a very specific time to get on the hand on that attack. It didn't work apparently. Hopefully he gets this, so it's pretty easy. And with Power Ring level 2, this fight is trivial, except if you do that, come on Mighty. Do you want Sttaner to catch up? Is that it? Here's the dreaded pulse attack. This attack is impossible to fully avoid, and it also wastes a lot of time. It's not a good time. Okay, 1 more hit. Or 2 more hits, and that's it. Matt is gonna finish with a 149.10. GG from him. It was a closer race than that both of the runners would have expected, I think. It was decided by HSS skip basically, which is pretty sad. Okay, let's see if Mighty wants an interview. Sttaner is not gonna get disqualified by getting the Dungeon 8 hard container. Since that Sttaner already knows that he's out. Not out, but he lost the race. Come on now. Alright, if you want some controversy, how about finishing the timing on talking to Dean here, which is technically the last possible input in the game? That's the thing that can happen. We just end on last hit on Dragon and Ox, mainly because it's tradition and it's that is faster. Sttaner is gonna make his own way to Onyx's castle, and hopefully he won't die to Dragon and Ox. But this seems to be very his mic or something. I don't know. Here we have him. Welcome, Mighty. Congrats on the race.
Oh, yeah.
So, how are you feeling? That was a little unfortunate of a run from all the deaths and all of that. But hey, it was way closer than both Sttaner and I think me generally would have thought.
I am shocked that I did well in that race. Yeah, I knew I was gonna die at some point in the run when I used my potion in Dungeon 2. So I expected it to happen in Dungeon 6, but then I died in Dungeon 4, so, you know, somewhere. Dungeon 4 is hard. Especially with the power ring, and you get, like, 1.5 times damage.
Yeah. So, just as a summary of the entire run, you were basically a little behind for most of the run, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from a combination of getting the power ring, since the money takes a little bit of time, and the death, and the second cycle on Dig Dogger. But you catched up at, I think it was Time Ruins, somewhere around that. And then it was pretty much equal until... Can you guess what happened that made you really split up?
Skip?
Wow. Yes.
Wow. Shocking.
Sttaner took quite a bit of time. I think it was... I don't want to say what try it was, but yours was second try, I think.
Yeah.
Which is way better than he got. He's now in Onyx.
Yeah.
So as long as nothing weird happens, we should see another finish.
Hopefully he doesn't die. That would be terrible.
Does he know the Stanlock strat? That's gonna be the actual question. Let's see. Again, say hi to Sigma, and let's get on some hands. Okay, not only he doesn't know, but he also doesn't know how to jump.
Oh no.
Yeah, it seems that something happened, because I see a really bad word in chat.
Oh. So far it seems fine. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
the
well,
delay. Delicious delay.
that...
Oh, he's in a really bad spot right now to get on the hand. Yeah, that's gonna be a death. Unfortunate. Well, I guess we can talk about other stuff. So this was a round 1 matchup, which was pushed back a little bit, mainly because of problems at work, I think. I don't know the specifics. So now your opponent, which should be this week as well, is Phenomenon.
Yeah, it'll time. Phenomenon.
How are you feeling about that? Do you think you have a chance?
No chance. Of course, I also thought I didn't have a chance for this.
Same thing that Sttaner said, really.
I just go into everything assuming that I'm going to fail. It's no different, really.
I don't know if that's the best mindset, but talking about mindset, half a heart versus facade with no bombs.
Oh no! He doesn't have enough!
And he's getting holes. Oh no. When this happens in facade, you want the attack that makes some bugs drop from the ceiling, and that can give you bombs. But he was just getting the worst possible attack, which is holes. This is some pretty abysmal RNG. Oh my god. This feels so bad for Sttaner. There we go.
Hopefully they drop some bombs.
Apparently they didn't.
Oh no.
Oh my god, come on.
Yeah, that's the thing about the spiders. They can drop bombs, but they don't have to. And it's always bad when they don't.
There we go. And gets the worst possible attack again. Wow, this is gonna... Oof. At least he's gonna get full health and a second try at Onox.
Yeah.
He got hit quite a lot on the first phase of Onox, so hopefully he won't get hit this time. And then he can go into Dragon Onox with way more health. He may also opt to just swat Dean away with the Season's Rod, which is the intended strat. You're supposed to just push her away and then hit Onox. But of course, the double hit is way more powerful, especially with Power Ring. We saw you basically 4-shot him.
Onyx's health is so weird because he takes 7 hits for each phase. Then when you get Power Ring, he takes 6 in the first, 4 in the second, and then he normally has 8 hits for the dragon, and then 6 hits with the Power Ring.
Yeah, Power Ring is not a flat damage boost. It's really weird.
Oh, it doesn't give a flat damage boost?
I don't really remember. I think there was some discussion of how it actually works, because there are some other rings that have the same effect, like Red Ring. But it's really weird, and I don't remember what the actual thing is. Oh, Sttaner failing to get on the hand. That's really bad.
Come on.
Oh no.
I think we heard his mic, which you are not supposed to have for this. Oh god. Oh no. Ouch. Failing that attack again. And it seems that Sttaner has forfeited. Feels bad. He basically pulled on me. Both the Aegis guys forfeiting their races. I don't feel good about that.
That's just because you're running, Seasons, the better game.
I don't see any better games here.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna assume that he doesn't want the interview, just in case. And I think he's gonna do what I want him to do. Except it froze. Yes. It's kind of what I wanted him to do. Have you ever seen this game? It's pretty nice. Also, the last boss is way nicer. It's just a turtle. Also, the menu is also nicer.
No.
This is Baron. The last boss in Oracle of Ages. He's trying to get the fast kill, but he keeps failing it. Which is not nice. Getting destroyed by both games. Looking at damage now, I think he doesn't have the red ring equipped. And that's what's happening. He's not gonna read that. Well, doesn't look like he wants to be interviewed. It's a shame. Well, I think we should be wrapping this up. GG's to you, Mighty.
Thank you.
GG's to Sttaner, even if things went south at the end. I feel you, I also did this. We'll see you for the next round, which is technically this week.
Sometime. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Mighty's gonna go against Phenomenon, as we said. And Sttaner is gonna go against Giselle Shaft. Should happen sometime this week. As far as the rest of the tournament goes, let me open this up. Thursday we have Mashi vs Oranges, which is a losers round 1 match. And Saturday we have Bamboo Shadow vs JC, which is... It's winners. Okay, JC won against me. Never mind, I'm bad. For now, that's the only thing that we have confirmed. But tune in next time for another amazing race of this not so amazing game, because there are better ones. Like the one Sttaner is playing right now. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Alright, see you all for the next race. Bye bye.